Now, पिछली वाली क्लास में although हमने ये वाला पोर्शन ऑलरेडी थोड़ा सा किया हुआ है, but still in so that we are in continuation, let's start it again. In the previous section, we had done what? We had converted all the minerals or all the ores into their respective oxides by various methods, right? Now, those oxides have to be now converted into the metal state. Oxides will be converted into metal states by how? They will be converted by reduction. Because oxides में से अगर oxygen को हमको remove करना है, we will have to reduce it. There are many methods of reduction which we are going to do, like some of them which we had done in our previous class also. The first one which we discussed was smelting, right? So smelting में what we are doing, we are reducing the oxide with carbon or with carbon monoxide. Also we did that if smelting is done at a very high temperature, then that is known as what? And in the presence of the reducing agent, then that is known as pyrometallurgy. Okay? So let's just go on to that again. We are going on to the first method, that is smelting. As we have already done that in case of smelting, we are going to reduce the oxide ores with carbon at high temperatures. So in this case, if we are having lead oxide, we are treating it with carbon, we are going to get lead plus carbon monoxide. ठीक है? If we are taking tungsten and we are reducing it with hydrogen, we are going to get tungsten plus we will get water 3H2O, right? फिर उसके बाद if we have copper oxide and we are smelting it with carbon monoxide, we are going to get copper plus carbon dioxide, ठीक है? And then if we have chromium trioxide, we are using a reducing agent over here, which is aluminium, to give us free chromium, plus we are getting another ore which is bauxite. ठीक है? Alumina, not bauxite. This is alumina. What is the difference between alumina and bauxite? Bauxite has two water of crystallization, two molecules of water of crystallization, and alumina is just a simple oxide of aluminium, right? So these are the processes which we are using for smelting. Now, process of extracting the metal by heating the metal oxide. We are heating all the metal oxide with some suitable reducing agents if we are doing it, then that method is known as pyrometallurgy, right? So in pyrometallurgy, we are going to use certain reducing agents. Then the next process which we have, we are going to discuss this in detail, that is known as carbon smelting. Now what is carbon smelting? We are saying that all the oxides of less electropositive metals, this we will also discuss later in our Ellingham diagrams, that why this is being done, okay? So the less electropositive metals, they are reduced by strongly heating the oxides with carbon. So if we have like lead oxide, lead is a less electropositive metal and we are reacting it with carbon, we are going to get Pb, Pb plus carbon monoxide. ठीक है? In a similar manner, we can also take iron, Fe3O, Fe2O3, okay? And if we are reacting Fe2O3 with carbon monoxide, we are going to get Fe plus carbon dioxide. So less electropositive metals, they can be converted into their free native or free metal state by reducing them with carbon monoxide or reducing them with carbon. Now, when ores after concentration, what did we do? Initially we were having the ores, we had many impurities in them, then we concentrated the ore, and after concentration also it is seen that there are many impurities which are present inside the ore. Now to remove these impurities, we have to add certain substance which can fuse with the impurities, and this substance is known as the flux. Okay, and the fusion of the flux with the impurities, that is going to give us slag. So what are we doing over here is, now in order to remove the gangue, we are mixing certain substances with that, which are known as flux. Fluxes may be acidic or they may be basic. The acidic fluxes, they are used to remove the basic impurities, and the basic fluxes, they are used to remove the acidic impurities. So let's see over here, what are we having now? We have the concentrated ore, right? And in this there are certain gangue particles which are going to be present. Gangue is going to be present as what? It is going to be present as impurities. With this we are adding certain reducing agent, okay? And with that we are going to add flux. Okay? Now main purpose of the flux over here is to connect or to fuse with the gangue to give us slag which can be easily removed. So when all these they are reacted together, we are going to get concentrated ore with the reducing agent. It is going to give us metal. ठीक है, और फिर उसके बाद we have the gangue and the flux. They are going to give us slag, and plus we are going to get certain volatile impurities which will be converted into respective gases. ठीक है. Now this slag generally is in the form of silicates because gangue particle is mostly silica. Right, the sand particles which are going to be present. So let's go on to the flux. As I just told you that the fluxes, they are of two types. The first one, that is known as acidic flux. What do we understand by acidic flux? Acidic flux example which we can take over here is silica, borax, etc. They all are acidic fluxes. In acidic flux, it is going to remove the basic impurities, right? So this is the basic impurity, calcium oxide. This is the acidic flux. This is going to fuse together to give us calcium silicate, which is the slag. ठीक है? Similarly, the second type of fluxes we have, they are the basic fluxes. So let's go on to the second type over here. Basic flux is going to remove acidic impurities. So basic flux which we have can be limestone, or it can be magnesium carbonate, etc. So what are we doing over here? We are taking magnesium carbonate and we are reacting it with acidic flux, okay? Which is silica. So you can see over here, this is the acidic impurity which is present over here, but it is also used as acidic flux, right? So when we react this, we are going to get slag, which is magnesium silicate, and carbon dioxide gas will be evolved. Okay, so this is the first method of reduction, which is smelting. The second method of reduction which we are going to do, that is reduction with aluminium. Now in this method, this method is generally used for all those metals which have high melting points, right? It is used for all those metals which have high melting points. So they have to be extracted from their respective oxides. Now in this, what we do is we take a mixture of concentrated ore, ठीक है, और इसके साथ we are going to take aluminium powder. This aluminium powder, it is known as thermite. It is known as what? It is going to be known as thermite. Now this is taken in a steel crucible and it is placed in the sand bath. Alright, so what have we done? We've taken the concentrated ore, uske saath we have mixed aluminium powder. This aluminium powder that is known as the thermite, we take it in a steel crucible and we put it on a steel bath. So this is going to be the first step. The next step is then the reaction mixture is started. This is the reaction mixture together. It is the reaction mixture that is, or the reaction that is started by ignition. We have to start the reaction mixture by ignition. So what do we do for this is, we take the reaction mixture over here and we add to it the ignition mixture. Why ignition mixture? Because the mixture has to be now melted at high temperature. Okay, so that is why they are used for metals which have very high melting points. Clear? So when we are doing this, we have, suppose we are taking an oxide of chromium and to it we are adding thermite. This is going to give us chromium plus alumina. Okay, now a lot amount of heat energy that will be given out because the melting point of chromium is very high. So a lot of heat that is evolved over here. That heat which is evolved, that is going to fuse the metal and alumina together. Okay, so this is how we are going to remove the metal by doing the reduction with aluminium. Then the third process that is known as self-reduction. Okay, so the next one which we have, that is self-reduction. Now in all the previous, this thing what we were doing, we were using some reducing agent, either it was carbon or we used aluminium. So we were using some reducing agent. In this, one of the reactants only, it is going to behave as a reducing agent. So that is why this is known as what? It is known as self-reduction. It is also known as auto-reduction. Because self-reduction, self means auto only, na? So it is also known as auto-reduction. Or we give it another name, which is air reduction. Right? Now in this case, mostly the sulfide ores of less electropositive metals, they can be reduced by this method, right? So in this what we are doing, less electropositive metals, just for example we have mercury, we have lead, these are less electropositive, and then we have also copper. So oxides of these can be reduced. Now in this what we do is, just for example we are taking cinnabar. Cinnabar is HGS. We are oxidizing it to give us mercuric oxide plus sulfur dioxide. Right? Now the mercuric oxide which is produced over here, that is again reacted with HGS. HGS over here is going to behave as a reducing agent. Okay? So we have plus SO2. This is what we are going to get. So over here you can see that we are getting the metal from their respective oxides. In a similar manner, if we have copper sulfide, this is going to give us Cu2O plus SO2. So just balance 3O2. Okay? Now the oxide which is produced over here, it is going to react again with Cu2S to give us and sulfur dioxide. Right? In a similar manner you can do it with lead also. So we go to get this. ठीक है? और फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास नेक्स्ट क्या आ जाता है? This PbO that is going to react with PbS to give us plus SO2. So these are going to be the reactions when we are doing auto reduction or air reduction. Clear? The third type of reduction which we are going to do, that is electrolytic reduction. Now in case of electrolytic induction, we are going to extract the metals, or we are going to reduce metals of oxides of highly electropositive metals, like for example we have sodium, we have magnesium, we have calcium. So all these metals, they are highly electropositive. So we are going to reduce the oxides of highly electropositive metals from here. Now these metals, they are extracted by reacting or by making fusion mixtures with certain salts. Right? Fusion mixtures with certain salts. Like for example, if we are taking sodium chloride. So let's say we are taking fused sodium chloride over here. This can be fused with NaOH, alright, or it can be also fused with calcium chloride. So either of the two. When we electrolyze this is what we are going to get, Na positive and Cl negative, and the reaction at the cathode, that is going to be Na positive plus 1 electron to give us Na, and at anode it is going to be Cl negative minus 1 electron to give us Cl. Right? So the sodium metal that can be removed from the cathode. In a similar manner, we can also do the reduction of alumina by this process. Okay? So when we are doing the electrolysis of alumina that is fused with cryolite. Cryolite is Na3AlF6, that is cryolite. उसके साथ हम उसको फ्यूज करते हैं, उसके बाद उसकी हम इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस करते हैं, and when we do the electrolysis we will get aluminium at the cathode. ठीक है? Have you understood? Okay. Then the next, now we have done, what have we done in the second operation? We have removed or we have extracted all the metals. Now we are going to refine these metals. So that is the third step which we are going to go to now. Okay, then what is going to be the third operation now? The third operation is refining and extracted metal, refining and purification of the extracted metal. Now, whatever metals we have extracted till now, since the beginning of the chapter, in the first we concentrated the ore, and then henceforth we said when we were doing the after concentration we were reducing the oxides of those ores. We said that there are certain impure particles which are left behind, which can be eliminated in the form of slag, isn't it? So over here also, when we are going to refining, why do we need to refine? Because all the impurities have still not been removed. There may be certain volatile impurities which are present, which are going to be eliminated in the form of gases, or there may be certain metals which are not required, right? So if those metals are not required, in that case that those metals have to be removed. Alright, so what we were doing the refining and purification over here. We said that the metals which we had extracted by reduction, they may have certain impurities which are present and which are finally removed by the last process, which is known as refining and purification. What are the impurities which are still left behind? There may be certain unchanged ore. Unchanged ore means that maybe it is quite possible that complete reduction of the oxide has not taken place and some of the oxide that is left behind. Okay? Then second type of impurity which we have, that is the other metals which are simultaneously produced by reduction, right? Then the third impurities may be the gases which are present. Like when we were doing the reduction, we had certain gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, which may be totally removed or maybe they are left behind. Then number 4, there are certain non-metals which may be found as impurities, like silicon is the most common. In addition to this, there is carbon and then there is phosphorus. Right? And finally, there may be certain amount of residual slag which is left behind, or and flux. Clear? So these are the impurities which have to be removed by refining and purification. The refining and purification of metal is done depending upon the kind of metal. There are various processes which we use, right? So let's go on to the first process over here. The first process that is known as liquation process. This process, liquation process, it is based on the principle of difference in fusibility of the metal and the impurity. Right? So it depends upon the difference in fusibility of the metal and the impurity. In this, what we do is we take a sloping hearth. It is like a slanting table only. Okay, we take a sloping hearth and we start heating the metal till it is converted into its melt. Right? Once it is converted into its melt, because the sloping hearth is a tilted kind of a table, you can say, what is going to happen? That melt that is going to flow down. So the melt, it is going to flow down, whereas the impurities, they are going to be left behind. It means that the metal over here, that is going to melt, and the impurities, they are not going to melt. Okay, so melt has the pure metal in it. By this method, you can purify bismuth, tin, lead, mercury, etc. Okay, then the second method which we have, it is distillation. Distillation is a simple method. It It is used for metals which are easily volatile. Okay, now the impurities being non-volatile, they will not be converted into their respective gaseous form, as a result of which the volatile metal, you know what distillation is, right? It consists of a Lebesgue condenser. This is the kind of apparatus which we use in this. This is the Lebesgue condenser. Okay, so in this we have one outlet of water and other inlet of water. Now what is going to happen over here is, we have taken the impurity with the metal in this, we start heating it. When we heat it, the metal being volatile in nature, it will be converted into its vapor state, and this vapor, it will start flowing through this capillary which is drawn over here. Now this capillary is connected to a Lebesgue condenser. Lebesgue condenser, what is happening is, this is generally used to maintain the temperature. Okay, so what are we doing over here is that there you can see there is an inlet water of an outlet of water. This water circulation, it is going to decrease the temperature of the capillary, as a result of which the gases which pass through them, they are condensed back to the liquid state and they can be easily recovered in this beaker. Then after solidifying over here, we get the pure metal, whereas the impure metal that is left behind in this flask. Okay? So this is the distillation process. Then the third process which we have, that is pyrometallurgical oxidation process. The next process is pyrometallurgical oxidation process. Now, when we are looking at pyrometallurgical oxidation process, it is used when impurities have great affinity for oxygen. So, in this case, the impurities have great affinity for oxygen, whereas the metal does not have. Okay, so when we are doing this, in this case we have the following methods which can be used. The first method, which is known as cupellation. What is cupellation? In this, the impure metal, it is heated in a cupel. Cupel is nothing but it is an oval shaped crucible. Okay, that is what a cupel is. This cupel, it is made up of bone ash. Right? It is made up of bone ash. Now over here, when we are, let's say, this is a cupel, we have taken the impure metal in this. Now over here, this impure metal is subjected to hot air. Okay, so we are passing hot air through this impure metal. It's a blast of air which we are using over here, hot air. Now, as we pass the hot air in this, the impurities, they are going to get attracted to oxygen and they are removed in the form of oxides, whereas the pure metal that is left behind. ठीक है? So इससे हम लोग pure कर सकते हैं, purify कर सकते हैं. Most commonly, silver can be purified by this method. Then the second method which we have, that is known as bessemerization. Okay, so what is Bessemerization. In this, the impure metal that is heated in a furnace, it is heated in a furnace, and a blast of compressed air is blown, right, through the molten mass. Now impurities jitni hogi, it is almost the same because we are using the principle over here that impurities have great affinity for oxygen. So over there also all the impurities, they are going to be removed in the form of oxides, not the metal but the impurities. In this chapter you can get questions from the principles. Okay, so what is the principle used for this process, or separation by Bessemerization is based on this principle. So these are the kind of questions which you get from this section. So Bessemerization, again what we are doing, we are taking a special kind of furnace, and in the furnace we are doing same, we are blowing hot air in that, as a result of which all the impurities, they are going to be removed as oxides. ठीक है? जैसे for example, if we have metal impurity of manganese which is not required, it can be removed by converting it into manganese oxide. ठीक है? Similarly, if a non-metal silicon is present, so silicon also can be removed by converting it into its respective oxide. Then we have another very important method which is known as poling. What are we doing in poling? In this method we take molten metal, we are taking the molten metal and we are stirring it with green poles of wood. We are taking big poles of wood. ठीक है? We are taking green poles of wood and we are stirring the molten metal by this. Now the green poles of wood, they are going to release hydrocarbons. So these are going to release hydrocarbons, and these hydrocarbons, they are going to reduce the impurities. The hydrocarbons which we get from here, they are going to behave as reducing agents for impurities. A metal which we purify by this method is copper. ठीक है? And the last method which we do, that is electro-refining. You are very well versed with electro-refining. In electro-refining, what we do is the pure metal that is taken as the cathode and the impure metal that is taken as the anode. So let's see what is this process. The fourth process is electro-refining. So it's like this thing only, it's an electrolytic cell which we take. We have dipped 2 electrodes in this and they are connected to the battery. Okay? The positive terminal over here in the electrolytic cell, that is going to be anode, and the negative terminal is going to be the cathode. Right? The anode is generally the impure metal, and the cathode over here, that is going to be strip of pure metal. The electrolyte which we are using over here, it consists of an aqueous solution of salt, aqueous solution of any salt we are taking. Right? It is an aqueous solution of salt. So what is going to happen over here is, we know that metal that gets attracted towards the cathode because it is negatively charged. So over here, as soon as current is passed, the anode, that is going to lose the metal, and that metal, it is going to gain electrons and it is going to go and deposit at the cathode. So this is what is the funda which is being used in electro-refining. Now over here, because the anode is melting, we can see small particles which settle at the bottom. These particles, they are known as anode mud. Okay, so this is what the method over here is. By this, the following metals can be purified. Like the first metal which we do, that is purification of copper. In this case, the impure metal will be taken as the anode. Okay? The pure metal will be taken as the cathode. That is, impure copper is going to be the anode over here, and pure copper strips, that is going to be cathode. Okay? So electrolyte we are using over here, that is an aqueous solution of copper sulfate containing H2SO4. Okay? So what is going to happen? Over here, when current is passed, the anode will release the copper ions which get deposited at the pure metal strip of copper, which is the cathode, and the anode mud. The anode mud over here, it contains impurities of iron, zinc, nickel, etc. They will settle down. ठीक है? और यहाँ से जो हम लोग करते हैं, we get 99.9% pure copper. ठीक है? In a similar manner, you can also do purification of silver. Purification of silver में impure silver will be taken as the anode. ठीक है? Pure silver, that will be taken as the cathode, and the electrolyte over here, electrolyte is aqueous solution of AgNO3 in HNO3. ठीक है? And lead can also be done over here. So what, in case of lead, again what we are going to do? We are going to take the impure lead as anode, pure lead as cathode, and the electrolyte is a solution of lead silicofluoride. This is important. It is a solution of lead silicofluoride. ठीक है? Lead silicofluoride has the formula PbSiF6. PbSiF6. ठीक है? Now over here it contains 8 to 10% of H2SiF6. Right? So these are the purification methods. In addition to this, there are certain special methods which are used, which we will discuss in our next class. That is Van Arkel method and Bond method of purification. Both of them, they are important from your examination point of view. ठीक है?